check out our whole video, hit the link on the bottom of the screen. That video is available exclusively on odds.com. Let's move on to Panthers Vikings. And the Vikings win was huge for us in the survivor pools. Vikings were ahead by a lot and went down in flames. It was extremely enjoyable to watch. Panthers Vikings opened up at -4.5. There are 4.5s and 4s on the board. This total opened up at 49. We see 49s and some 48.5s. Panthers 4-7, 2-3 on the road. Vikings 4-6, 1-4 at home. Panthers coming off an impressive 20-0 home shutout of the hapless Lions, snapped their 5-game losing streak. They were missing Teddy Bridgewater, Christian McCaffrey, offensive lineman Russell Okung and John Miller, and cornerback Dante Jackson. All 5 remain questionable to go this week. P.J. Walker threw for 258 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in his first NFL start. And this defense, this much maligned defense of the Panthers, first shutout since 2015. As I mentioned in the Detroit breakdown, they had allowed their last 4 opponents had put up a combined 131 points on them while scoring 27 to 36 possessions were shut out by the Lions. Mike Davis looked better, ran 19 times for 64 yards. DJ Moore caught 7 passes for 127 yards. Defensive end Brian Burns had 2.5 sacks. Guard Dennis Daly left in the second quarter with concussion. He's in concussion protocol. Safety Sam Franklin is also out. What do you think of that shutout against the Lions, and do you have interest in these Panthers against the Vikings?
Like we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show. Nobody expected a shutout, but obviously injuries to Detroit played a huge factor in that. So I'm not going to put too much stock in this. I don't think Carolina's defense has arrived. They shut out an injured Detroit team. Let's pump the brakes on the excitement here. But again, this is another game. There's just a ton of injuries. Thielen's got COVID. Who knows what's the story with McCaffrey and Teddy? A lot of question marks. Again, this is a Sunday look. This is a game you revisit on Sunday. You have a better idea who's going to play, who isn't. You make the decision then. But I mean, right now, I feel like the obvious play is Minnesota, but Thielen has been surging as of late. He's been an absolute monster in the red zone. And as great as Jefferson is, I mean, part of the reason he's so great is because Thielen draws a lot of that attention. Cook, a quieter week, so you'll look for him to bounce back and play another great game this week. But again, sit back, wait, learn a little bit more about this. Right now, I lean Minnesota if you gave me a free play, but a lot of uncertainties. So, I'm going to sit back and watch this one.
Vikings coming off that very disappointing 31-28 loss home to the Cowboys. After 3 straight wins over NFC North opponents, climb back into contention. This loss hurt. Cousins, 22 of 30, 314 yards, 3 TDs, and a fumble. Good numbers, but 2 for 7 on the final 2 possessions when they needed them most. Didn't come through. Dalvin Cook, 27 for 115 yards, 1 touchdown. It's amazing, Bebsie, that Dalvin Cook is playing at a level where he could bounce back from that game.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're putting up, 200 scrimmage yards week after week or close to it, and you come out with a 115er, and again, he was, like a lot of that came a little bit. It's not like he came bursting out of the gates with that too. So just he is still a very good week, and it feels like an off week.
Brett Jones replaced right guard Ezra Cleveland. That's the 4th different starter at right guard this season. And they got tight end Irv Smith Jr. back. He was out for a game. They also got cornerback Cameron Dantzler back. He was out for 2 games with a concussion. Whew. Very, very interesting. Trey Franklin, great to see you. And this David Sharp says this is your over 3.5 field goals game here. The Carolina, Minnesota spot.
I really want PJ Walker to be as good as he looked. I understand it was against a bad and beat up Detroit defense, but man, this guy's story is great. He cut by 12 NFL teams, gets picked up in the XFL, lights up the XFL. I mean, that's not saying too much, but man, I didn't watch that game. I went back and watched highlights of it afterwards, so I didn't really see him doing bad. man, he threw some dimes in that game. So I hope he can hang on and be. I don't think he's going to be a stud, but he looked great.
Yeah, I like him too. At this point, I agree that the Panthers and the points is that I like. I just wish the Vikings had won. Then I wouldn't think that they would come out as angry as they're probably going to come out. And you know what? In fact, that will likely keep me off the game. Let's say that PJ Walker is the starting quarterback in this spot, Bebsie, and you see a total of 48.5. What's your feel? You go over or under?
I mean, if PJ keeps rolling, I like this over. But again, like, is PJ starting? Is Teddy back? There's just so much uncertainty here that I don't know. My instinct says over because I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other, and it feels like over's been hitting more. So yeah, I don't have a strong lean one way or the other on that.